President's car is now turning off the Elm Street. An open limousine parade.
There's a cover-up that's about to happen here.
This is Situation Room. I read Kennedy shot in head.
The assassination of a president, and then a scramble by the U.S. government to hide information from its people.
So much information was hid from the American public.
How many shots were fired? 3.
The question of who shot JFK and why has riveted America since that horrifying day 60 years ago. But over time, it's become clear that the FBI and CIA kept information hidden, not just from the public, but from the commission in charge of investigating the assassination. This has fueled an understandable doubt in the official account, including, by the way, Lyndon B. Johnson, the president who took JFK's place. Congress even came out in the 80s saying that this was probably a conspiracy. And the public ran wild with this. They came up with hundreds of suspects of who could have been involved in the assassination. Theories like this thrive when government authorities aren't transparent with their people. So let me show you how this happened. Let me explain the official story and why that story has been hit with a wave of doubt over the decades, and explain that unlike a lot of conspiracy theories, doubting the official story here isn't as crazy as you might think.
This was a turning point in American history. People all of a sudden decided, I'm not sure they're telling us the truth.
JFK is this really symbolic character who lived during a very, very important time in American history. And the story really dives into the context of what it was like to be in America in the 60s. People loved John Kennedy. He was this good-looking guy who was always hanging out with his beautiful family, and he just seemed to instill a sense of confidence in people. Kennedy rode this positive perception up the ranks of American politics to become the 35th president. This was in the early 60s, when America was in a giant time of transition.
Well, this is a revolution, of course, that is sweeping our country now.
The US was the global superpower and was locked in a Cold War with another empire a world away. So JFK walks into the presidency to find his military and intelligence leaders causing a lot of trouble around the world. They'd become very comfortable with dangerous secrets. They were funding wars, they were overthrowing governments in faraway countries, they were assassinating leaders that threatened American interests, and they were doing most of this totally in secret. JFK walks in and sees this as too much. He wants to rein in these spy and military leaders from what he sees as an abuse of American power. He ended up firing and demoting a bunch of these leaders, a lot of these intel and military guys who were plotting and executing covert operations around the world. And he continued to pursue his ideal of world peace. He chose diplomacy over violence when nuclear armed missiles were found in Cuba. He slowed down the momentum towards a full-scale presence in Vietnam, and he shut down several of these covert operations that were being planned by the leaders around him. This caused great tension between JFK and America's military and spy leadership. All of this context is important when we look back on that day in November 1963.
Friday morning, 11:37. The president's jet lands at the Dallas airport.
But this is the first time since 1948 that a president has made an official visit to Dallas. Here comes the big jet in.
Here's a cheer going up now as a big jet lands with the United States of America on it. Boy, that's a beautiful ship, a 707, U.S. Air Force One. There it is. The President of the United States seal on the nose. And here comes the President of the United States. There's no trouble at all spotting Mrs. Kennedy with a bright pink dress, a wool dress, pillbox type hat.
Clear blue sky and a warm sun. Beautiful day now, just a beautiful day. Boy, this is something. The press is standing up high, getting a lot of shots of this. He's broken away from his plan and gone right up to the fence to shake hands with people. This is great for the people and makes the eggshells even thinner for the Secret Service, whose job it is to guard the man.
And the motorcade begins to move out. The President and the First Lady sit the top is down. They are not using the bubble, so it'll be an open limousine parade. Immediately following the presidential limousine, a car loaded with Secret Service men. It is our understanding that the motorcade will be moving slowly enough so that everyone along the route will have a good look at the chief executive.
Thousands will be on hand for that motorcade now, which will be downtown Dallas. The president and his wife and party are going to be visible all through Dallas.
And here comes Jackie waving by, and Mr. Kennedy radiant in that pink outfit.
Bob Huffaker is ready to come in from that point. What's happening down there, Robert?
The scene is gay down here with red, white, and blue bunting hanging all over Main Street. The Dallas Police Department is working with a fully augmented force to dispel any fear that unfortunate incidents do not occur on this trip.